Is your athlete in their head? This is something that you will hear out at a baseball park. You'll hear golfers, parents, everybody's always saying, he's in his head. He's in his head. And it's a common thing. And really what they're saying is he's thinking too much. He's just thinking too much. And so when, so it's a difficult thing to be when you're in your head. It's difficult to move forward and to play better. But we all have the tendency to get in our head when things aren't going right. So hey, I'm Coach Shay. I live down in Ponte Vedra, Florida. I'm a mental performance coach. Work with high school athletes that are going to go play in college. I work with a lot of college athletes that are getting NIL money and playing at the highest levels. So, we all have the ability to get in our head, especially when things are not going well. It's everybody can do well when you're playing well and everything is going good, but when things start to go bad, that's typically when you see guys overthink and overanalyze, and many times start judging things that they probably shouldn't be judging. And it's a common problem out there. um, and it's a slippery slope for some athletes because they've been so used to winning. If they start to go up against tougher competition, they start to slip and they start to slide and they start to go down that mountain. And some of them, they never recover. I meet parents and dads all the time at baseball games, football games, big guys. I'm like, hey, where'd you play? Because I can tell they played somewhere. Oh, I didn't play. When I was in high school, I got in my head, had a girlfriend. I started making some bad decisions. I hear that a lot. I mean, I've heard a lot over the last 20 years. Just guys that didn't do what was required to get to the next step. They weren't disciplined enough. They didn't have they didn't have a good enough foundation, I guess. But it a lot of people get in their head. You see it in business, you see it in a sport. It's very obvious when somebody gets in their head because they start to self-criticize, they start to melt down. I got a video earlier today of a person that was crying, and it's really hard because sports is supposed to be fun. Sports is it's a great teacher. It prepares you for life. It prepares you for adversity. It prepares you for success and failure. And so it's really hard for me when I see people taking their sport too seriously to the point where when anything negative happens, they act like that should never happen because I'm great, I'm this, I'm that. But I watch MLB games all the time. I see guys make errors almost every game. Same thing with NFL, college sports, SEC. There's a lot of errors made out there, and the key is kind of minimizing some of that stuff. But you know, even in the Bible, it says a divided house will not stand, and it makes sense because when you're in your head and you're overthinking, you are a divided house, and there's part of you, the analytical side of your brain, is fighting the instinctual side, and it's going to be hard to be successful if you got a battle going on internally. The opposing team is giving you enough things to worry about and to fight with. You do not need to have this internal battle going on. And so, um, there are some things that you can do, and it takes it's some work. It takes a lot of work. It's in the process of it. It's not just something where I'm not Dr. Phil and I meet with somebody for 1 hour and then they don't have any more, they're never in their head again. It's really nothing like that. I build a relationship. We work through better preparation. We work through better habits, going to bed at night, those kind of things. But it is um, a lot of times with people that are overthinking, they are putting too much information in their head. They're trying to do too much, and you know who the number one culprit would be for that. and that would be this little guy right here. This little guy right here, he's the main one for these high school kids and college kids putting too much information in their head, because when they get on there, they start comparing themselves to others. They see the best of somebody else, and they think, I should be doing that. And so they can't stay with their plan. They're busy changing up, thinking they're not good enough, they're not fast enough, they're not smart enough, they're not talented enough. But the truth is, this thing is a problem for most people, most athletes specifically. So for most of the people I work with, they're usually heavy on this when I first start working with them. But then after we've been working together for a while, they get enough wins on the baseball field where they're pitching better, they're hitting better, they just get better in their sport, so they get the adrenaline rush that they were getting from this. And this is a far substitute from hitting a home run, from hitting a double, from striking a guy out. It doesn't compare. There's a ton of data out there that says this little guy right here is increases your anxiety and depression especially as a teenager. So, you know, you want to think about that, because it is, it does contribute to people being in their head, because they're comparing themselves to the best of all these people right here. But the truth is, you just need to work on yourself. You need to work on you. You need to get you right. Don't worry about these other guys. Just keep working on you. That's how we get better. So, guys, if you want to reach out to me, you want me to help your athlete, just let me know. I'm in Ponte Vedra, Florida. If you want to come see me, that's fine. Most of the kids I work with, I'm on FaceTime, GoToMeeting, regular phone call. Um, I work 7 days a week. And this kind of job is 7 days a week. I got athletes playing on the weekends. I got, you know, sometimes I can only get them on the weekends. I'm totally fine with that. I enjoy what I do. This is a fun job. It's a good job, and it's fun to help people get better at their sport. So I'm on Psychology Today as Coach Jay. I'm listed. Sportsintervention.com is my webpage, and then you can check me out on X at College Scout FB. So um, like this video if you can. If you can follow me or subscribe, whatever, to help me hit that 1,000 number quicker. I'm just here trying to help kids get better. And so, if there's something I can do to help you, let me know. So reach out. All right. Have a great week. See ya.